The Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR is a marvel of engineering. This street-legal luxury delivers a race-ready performance. The CLK GTR is not just a car but a legend on wheels. This rare gem has turned heads and won hearts with its race performance ever since the late 90s, and even today it remains a pinnacle of automotive mastery. But how did such a legend come into being? Let's take a ride back in time and learn about the historical tale of the CLK GTR, a vehicle that still continues to win the hearts of car enthusiasts and collectors around the globe. The beginning of the Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR is as much a story of competition as it is of innovation. The CLK GTR was a result of Mercedes' desire to win at Le Mans, which meant building a car that had the best of everything. That means this car should have lightweight bodywork, a mighty engine, and reliability that would allow it to run flat out for 24 hours without so much as a hitch. At the Le Mans, it isn't the car's reliability that would prove to be the problem. It will be the aerodynamics, which leads to the car flipping at high speed. But due to this, the car's reliability suffers. Mercedes had to build a winner, because in the mid-90s, the GT racing world was fully dominated by the great McLaren F1. But Mercedes-Benz was not one to back down from a challenge, so it decided to throw its hat into the ring with a mission to outshine its rivals on the track. The decision to take part in the new Grand Touring Endurance Series in the 90s, the FIA GT Championship, was certainly a big deal for the manufacturer. It had been decades since the German automaker had competed in a top-tier global racing platform, last seen at the 1955 24 Hours of Le Mans. Up until its entrance into the GT series, Mercedes had competed in smaller racing series and dominated the German DTM series as reigning champs. However, the automaker had yet to make a return to the global stage, and Mercedes had set its sights on the 1997 FIA GT season. But first, it needed a car. And not just a car, but a winner. Now, most manufacturers who participate in the GT series typically use a production car and heavily modify it to meet the specific regulations for racing. You can take the example of the F1. McLaren did this with the F1, the unique Gordon Murray-designed three-seater, which had a 6.1-liter BMW V12 fitted into it to deliver 611 horsepower. This race-prepped F1 GTR won the 1995 24 Hours of Le Mans, with 3 other F1 GTRs finishing 3rd, 4th, and 5th. In short, it was a success. Mercedes-Benz and Porsche were in the same boat. They were both GT Series competitors at the time and had chosen to build their own race car entrance from the ground up to meet the race series regulations. Yep. Interestingly, the infamous Porsche 911 GT1 was also born in the same way as the CLK GTR. It is pretty clear that the CLK Coupe of the C208 series served as the inspiration for the front end of this GT car. The German automakers focused on building the chassis with great attention to detail, since weight has always been a make-or-break factor in motorsports. The Mercedes CLK GTR's bodywork was made with the right aerodynamics package to provide enough downforce so that the car could go through the corners at a better speed. But if this car was going to win any races for the three-pointed star brand, it also had to be super lightweight to catapult into speed as quickly as it started. This is why the automakers made extensive use of carbon fiber for the CLK GTR. Its monocoque chassis was made using this material, as well as the body and other parts of the race car, to reduce weight. Deep within its chassis, Mercedes-Benz installed a newly retuned 6-liter M120 V12, which was originally from the S and SL class. This engine was tuned to develop an impressive 592 horsepower and 516 lb-ft of torque. This technically advanced racing engine was capable of bringing the car to 60 miles per hour in just 3.8 seconds and a top speed of 205 miles per hour. Mercedes-Benz routed that power through a 6-speed sequential transaxle. All of that, combined with a front and rear double wishbone suspension with pull rod coil springs, adjustable shock absorbers, and 6-piston brakes with fairly large carbon composite rotors, made the CLK GTR ready for track action. The result was a machine that met the standards set by the F1 and also created a new era in racing. This was the CLK GTR. When the CLK GTR first hit the track for the 1997 GT season, it would win 6 of 11 endurance events, landing the German automakers both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship that year. The automaker also saw another successful 1998 season and won the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship for a second year in a row, an accomplishment only achieved by the McLaren F1 GTR in 1995 and 1996 BPR Global GT Series. Designed primarily as a race car, Mercedes-Benz also had to produce a limited run to meet the homologation requirements for the FIA GT Championship. For that to be possible, they had to, aside from meeting all specific regulations for an FIA GT car, also build 25 road-legal production models, which they did eventually. And in came the road-going CLK GTR Strassen version, which translates to road version, that was unveiled at the 1997 Frankfurt Motor Show, which was nearly mechanically identical. These road-ready additions to the coupe included additional features like anti-lock brakes, air conditioning, and an audio system. Apart from its legendary performance, the Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR also had an aesthetic that grabbed everyone's attention. It was a true sensation of race-inspired design made street legal. The CLK's long, low silhouette is unmistakably aggressive, with aerodynamics that slice through the air like a predatory grace. The car's wide stance is highlighted by its dramatic bodywork, featuring gaping air intakes and a prominent rear wing that gives it a sports-like look. The dihedral doors added an extra flair of drama, swinging upwards to welcome drivers into the cockpit. Mercedes didn't just focus on the performance, but also did justice to the CLK GTR's looks. Whether it's on the road or at a standstill, the CLK GTR has a dominant and commanding road presence, turning heads and evoking a sense of awe in bystanders. Another very interesting saga happened during the CLK's production. When Mercedes-Benz announced its intention to compete in the racing series, AMG had a tight deadline of only 4 months to build the car, from the tires to the roof. Not only did they have to build the car from scratch, but they also had to run all of the performance tests to meet the race regulations. And here's the most interesting part. The CLK GTR was developed in a mere 128 days. Can you believe it? The world's legendary race car, which won championships, was made in a mere 128 days. Beating the likes of the Porsche GT1 and the McLaren F1 GTR in this period, the Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR represents the historic return of the renowned German marque to the global stage of racing. This success was followed by road-going versions of the championship-dominating CLR GTR, marking the company's first road-going supercar offerings with the CLK GTR Coupe and Roadster, both of which set the stage for future Mercedes-Benz and AMG supercars. The company built only 25 Mercedes-Benz CLK GTRs, with 20 coupes and 5 even rarer roadsters. This makes the CLK GTR a rare collector's item. But it's not just the scarcity that makes the CLK GTR highly sought after, it's also its victorious winning DNA that gives it a place in the hearts of collectors and motorsport enthusiasts. So this was the story behind the birth of the legendary Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR. The Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR serves as a legacy of race cars in today's marketplace. One look at their sleek, race-inspired bodies shows only a glimpse of their unique origin story. Have you ever had the chance to see one in real life? If you have, how does it feel to be God's favorite? If you like this video, subscribe for more tales about the automotive legends. Until then, see you in the next video.